So I have got the honor and the privilege of announcing this amazing panel. So let's start with ladies first. Billionaire, empire builder, realtor, loyal friend. The woman behind the 10X empire, and she's the wife to Grant Cardone, and the mom of 2 amazing daughters, Elena Cardone. Let's hear it. Woo! Thank you, Lisa. Oh, mwah. All right, we get to hear him again. CEO, entrepreneur, TV personality, HGTV star, family man, husband of Heather. Who loves Heather? Woo! And the most amazing partner and my sponsor at eXp Realty, Tarek El Moussa. Rushed it. Okay. Entrepreneur, philanthropist, family man, the original undercover billionaire, founder of Stearns Lending, second largest lender at one time in the country, and the co-founder of Success Mortgage. Let's welcome to the stage, Glenn Stearns. Last and never least, the original shark from the hit TV show Shark Tank. He was the principal architect of the as seen on TV industry. Kevin was a part of the founding team and board member of the Celsius energy drink. Anybody know that one? All right. And he is the founder of the Shark Tank Global, a business brokerage that helps you buy and sell businesses. Let's welcome to the stage, Kevin Harrington.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, is everybody excited for this? All right. So, take notes. These are the greatest sharks, influencers, and real estate celebrities that eXp has. And so, great questions. Here we go. We're going to start with ladies first. Mrs. Cardone.
Okay.
10X, baby. The market is shifting again, and you and Grant survived the 2008 crash and came out obviously on the other side. So what advice would you give all of us?
Well, okay, so 2008 was definitely traumatizing for us. One of the first things that I did during that time and that we did that became a very successful action, and I think it's very on par with the theme of this whole conference, Build the Future. So at that point, I made a complete shift, and so I decided to stop living from the past, and I realized all of my decisions were coming out of the past and where I'd come and how whatever traumatizing those circumstances could have been. And I said, you know what, going forward, the only thing that's going to get us out of this is if we actually create our future. So that's when it really became about a mindset for us. I said, even though we were on the verge of losing it all in 2008, I had this real heart-to-heart with Grant, and I said, what do you and I want to build together? Who are we as a couple? Who do we stand for? So the very first thing we did was get on the same page. But then I looked at in the future, which is now, and I said, who do we want to be? What is the lifestyle that we want? I wanted to be a billionaire, not because I need something in order to be who I am, but because I knew that would be a marker of how many people that we reached in the world. And so I envisioned all of my life and my success and what I wanted it to look like, what we wanted it to look like. And then, you know, we worked in a very coordinated and collaborated effort with each other to achieve those goals. So, for instance, I built the future. We built and envisioned the future and then reversed engineered. So I and Grant used the future to pull us forward, not from the past. Completely severed ties with the past. Only use that as policies to put into place to help us going forward. But so I came from this vision that I already was a billionaire, even when we were at our make-break on the verge of losing everything. So it's be, do, and then you have. I had it all reversed previously, and I'll wrap up this question. But I had it wrong. I thought you had to have a billionaire status in order to be something important or of value. And then I realized, no, you wear the beingness of the thing that you want to be. You wear the beingness that you already are the success. So thank you. So when I went through life, right, and someone doesn't return your phone call or you lose a deal, I would always hold on to that vision. Does this moment in time really matter? Because I already am. In my case, I had billionaire because that meant this status. And if I'm already a billionaire, that doesn't matter. I have enough things in the works because I was using that vision to pull me forward. So that's what I always do and will continue to do.
Oh, so good. Tarek El Moussa, what would you do to make money in the upcoming market as a realtor?
Oh, this is a good one. All right, I hope you guys are paying attention because I mentioned it in my story. So what's happening right now? Interest rates are going up. Inventory is going to be growing, which means what? There's going to be a lot of homes not selling, which means there's an opportunity for what? Expired listings, right? So if I were you, I would focus on expired listings. I would mail them, I would knock them, I would call them 30 to 50 times each every single day. And listen, there is no magic trick. You are never going to convince someone to sell a house that doesn't want to sell a house. Your job, remember I said this, your job is to find the needle in the haystack. And when you ask the question, when do you plan on interviewing another agent? A lot of times they are. They're going to say, we are interviewing other agents. It actually happens. You just need to talk to enough people.
Great advice, Tarek. Thank you. Glenn Stearns, we're heading into challenging times. Can you give us an example of a time you had faced adversity and how you overcame the odds?
Man, I have faced a lot of adversity in my life. I mean, I failed 4th grade. I had a child when I was 14 years old in 8th grade, right? I had alcoholic parents. I mean, I could go on and on, right? I mean, I've had a lot of adversity in my life. And, you know, when I look back on things, a divorce, you know, 08, my goodness, was horrible. But I look at those things. We all have adversity in our life, right? I mean, every single one. There's nobody that gets out of this without feeling some bumps and bruises. Yeah. But I look at 4th grade. Hey, I got 2 sets of friends. I look at 8th grade. I got a beautiful daughter. She's 44 years old right now, right? I went through a divorce, okay? And my ex-wife came on our trip around the world. We went and schooled my wife and my daughter. We're friends, right? It's not how you start, it's how you finish, okay?
Oh,
and so when I think about things, 2008, the worst time ever. Elena, you said it, right? I mean, we're about to head into some pretty troubled waters right now. But at that time, I'll tell you, I remember sitting back and, I mean, again, buyback loans, $100 million, class action lawsuits. Everywhere I looked, it was dark, it was bad. We had a home in Fiji, I mean, the nicest place. And, you know, so when I was at night, I was laying there. You guys, there's a lot of faith-based people, so I'm going to tell this part of the story. And I'm laying in bed, I can't sleep. And I close my eyes so tight, I'm thinking, like, you know, what's going on, right? And my wife says, you can't sleep, can you? I go, everywhere I look, it's dark, everywhere. I go to Fiji, it's beautiful, but just 2 weeks ago, the hurricane blew the roof off. I mean, nothing is safe, nothing is bright right now for me. I can't do it. And I closed my eyes really tight, and I could see these white zingers in my eyes, right? You know, and I go, that's what I need to do. I need to focus on the light. I need to break through these clouds. One day, we're gonna get through the clouds, and we're gonna be on the other side of this, okay? And so when I did that and kind of gave it up, and all of a sudden it came to me, 46:10, which is be still and know that I am God, right?
Amen.
And I say that to my wife, and she says, I was just gonna say that to you, Glenn. And we had this weird kind of thing going. But all of a sudden I realized, you know what, when you just kind of give it up and you realize, you know what, it's okay. I've got these buildings with my name on it. I got all this stuff. I don't care about all this stuff that you hold here. It's about my family. It's about who you are as a person. It's about who you are when your back is against the wall. That's the man, not the guy on the top. It's the guy when you're being humbled like, shit, what are you going to do about it then, right? And so that's when I stood taller. We're about to head into that right now, and we're going to go into some troubled times, and we've got to stand tall. We got to gather our friends around us,
right.
and we got to be able to go, and we'll get through it.
Oh, God, so good. Wow. All right, Kevin Harrington, you have built an authority and influence. You have built authority and influence in your industry. Can you share with all of us how you used a book launch to accelerate your brand?
Great question. When I heard this was called Reach for the Stars, I thought this is very appropriate. I want to just ask, how many have ever reached for a star? Do we have very many of you? A few? Okay, not very many though. So let me tell you what happened for me. 15 years ago, I was an entrepreneur running AsSeenOnTV.com and Inc. And a buddy of mine called and said, hey, I'm going to be going down to see Richard Branson, hanging out in Necker Island. Would you like to go? And I said, make a small donation to his charity. I said, yeah, that would be great. Love to hang out and get some wisdom. So I had a one-on-one meeting with Richard Branson. And Richard, he's telling me, hey, great, I've been watching that Jack LaLanne Juicer and the Tony Little Fitness and George Foreman and all those shows you're doing. He said, but man, you've really screwed up. And I said, what? I said, what do you mean? He says, you've built Billy Mays' brand, Tony Little's brand, all these brands you're building, but you've never built your own brand. So I said, let's talk, what do I do? So he said, Kevin, he said, you got to create content, you got to write books. He said, look at me, I'm Richard Branson, I'm all over the place. So I came out of there with a passion to start creating some content, writing a book. The first book I wrote, Act Now, How I Turn Ideas into $1 million products. I did dozens and dozens of radio talk shows. Then I got invited to speak at trade shows and events like this, and all of a sudden, and then there was articles, and then I'm on TV. Who called, because I was all over the place? Mark Burnett called and said, hey, I see you everywhere. I don't know if you're right for this show, but I'm doing a show called Shark Tank. Can you come meet me? So I can say that putting the book out, promoting the book, was a direct result of getting that call from Mark Burnett. Now, I had to then have a good pitch to Mark Burnett, but just, you know, in terms of raising your profile, a book is very, very powerful. And I also, my last book called Mentor to Millions, actually, my publisher said, will you do some podcasts? And I said, sure. And he said, 100? And we did 100. And when we got done with that, he said, how about, because we had 2 weeks out, we did another 85. So we did 185 podcasts. About 80 of those broke 4 days together when the book launched, and it catapulted us to #2 on the Wall Street Journal bestseller list. So this was, I call it raising the profile. And by the way, you can't just call a podcaster and say, I want to be on. How do you get on podcasts? You've got to put a little video together, you send it. You know, I was sending dozens and dozens of videos out every day. I'm Kevin Harrington, I have some great message for your audience. Let's get together, love to be on your show, et cetera, et cetera. But we were getting tremendous response. So there is a system to getting on podcasts and building your brand with a book. But that's how I did it. And I love the title, Reach for the Stars, because that's what it takes.
So good, Kevin. I'm going to circle back and just ask you kind of a follow-up question to that.
Okay.
Can you give me an example of how you accelerated one of the brands that you work with?
Okay, so has anybody heard of a drink called Celsius? An energy drink, all right?
Yep.
So 10 years ago, nobody had heard of it, but a buddy of mine took over the company, and it was a startup. Public company, stock was 10 cents a share, and he said, Kevin, he was the CEO. He said, I need you to help me build this business. We need direct to the consumer because our expertise, our product sits on shelves in stores. So I said, what we need is direct to the consumer, influencers, influencer marketing. So I had a good connection to Flo Rida. I went down to his office. Flo said, I'm in. He started putting video after video out, 26 million followers, dozens of videos. And by the way, then Khloe Kardashian, one of his followers, said, can I have a few cases? We got tweets from Khloe for $0. And now we started getting thousands and thousands of fitness Instagram influencers. We just sold 7% of Celsius to Pepsi for $550 million.
Wow.
Okay? It's a $7 billion company. The stock went from 10 cents 22 cents when I joined as a board member and initial founder with the team, to $100+ a share. So that's my story. Thank you.
Truly a shark, right, y'all? Truly a shark. Thank you so much, Kevin. Okay, speaking of books, I love this. I know a book that changed my life was Build an Empire. Anybody out there read it? So, Elena, this question's for you. Okay. We have an audience of empire builders. I know we do. Do we? How many empire builders we have out there? That's right. What are the key things we want to know? What are the key things you want to tell us about how to build our empires?
Well, one of the first things that was a big epiphany for me was that nobody builds an empire alone. So I had always thought I had to do it all alone. I had to be this powerful, independent woman, do it all on my own, never depend on anyone, especially not a man. Sorry, no offense. That was just ingrained in me. And then I realized that you can only, like Grant says this, he says you can do anything, but you can't do everything.
So good.
And I ran into that because I experienced no matter how powerful I think I can be and whatnot, I have a max out on my potential that I do alone. And the benefit of actually partnering with other people is the other people are there to support you, to show active interest in the success of you. So when you cap out, if you have your team and your people, they are there to help you, lift you to heightened levels of success. So I understood what it means to have a team and a partnership for the first time. So it blew my mind because I realized no empire in the history of the world has ever been built alone. So this whole idea of the solopreneur, it's a myth. You can't do it alone. You can start something alone, but anything that develops into an empire requires people. It requires a team. So one of the first things I would say is, after you find your purpose and your why, get around people. Like, look around us here. We are with EXP. We are like-minded people that can help and support each other. Like, we have been gifted this incredible model to where when my success actually benefits another human being financially, and so on and so on. It's like that is support. So get around people. People have everything you want. People can help you make your dreams come true. People can help you reach heightened levels of success. And these are your people. We are here for you, and you hopefully are here to help me too. So let's rise to the top. Let's be great.
Wow. God, are y'all loving this? Are these amazing? All right, Tarek, this is my personal little piece to this question. I personally make a lot of money off your brand, but what would you tell the audience? I've sold about $100 million worth of real estate leveraging the agency by Tarek El Moussa, but what would you tell this audience? What advice would you give them about building a personal brand? Because I thank you for building yours every day.
Yeah, let me just start off with this. I'm on TV, everybody, right? So I'm used to cameras following me around. So when I'm on social media talking to my phone, that is not what I do. So when I first started on social media, like talking to my phone, I was so stressed, so anxious. I was talking too fast, so uncomfortable. But I knew if I wanted to continue to build my brand, it was something I had to do. Now, years later, if you watch my videos, a little bit better, right? But guess what? That came with practice. I think the biggest thing that prevents people from building a brand is fear and excuses. Fear, oh, I don't want to look bad. I don't want to look silly. I'm going to sound bad. Guess what? You are going to sound bad. It's okay. It happens. The only way you get better in anything in life is going to be through practice. Grab your phone, start creating content now, today, in this room. Just start and never stop. So that's one thing that's very, very important. Another thing is stop overthinking. Like I remember when I was in my 20s and I was trying to build my brand, I probably spent 5 years with 50 different logos. Nobody cared about my logo. You guys are all guilty of it too. I know you are, right? The logo, the tagline, oh, my for sale sign. Oh, we should change the top right corner to a blue stripe. Okay, I can't start yet. No more. No more excuses. Just do it. Grab the bull by the horns, follow people like us, emulate and enhance. That's it.
Oh, so good, so good. I love this next question. Glenn Stearns, change is inevitable. How do you handle change?
Well, you know, it's funny because when I look back, I mean, change scares a lot of people, right? People are comfortable being in their, in their environment. They don't want it to change usually. When I look back on my life, when I was a young boy, again, talk about alcoholic parents, right? I had some troubled times where my mom would say, let's go, we're getting in the car. Usually there was trouble at home. So we'd get in the car, she goes, we're going to get lost. And we would drive, and then we'd end up at some farm, and she'd pull over and she'd go, oh no, guess what? My sister and I go, we're lost. And it was always so fun to find our way home.
Yeah.
So I think that was ingrained in my head as an early age, that when you're lost, sometimes you can look at that with fear or excitement, right? You can look at that as something that we can look forward to, or that we're completely just frozen and we just can't move. And of course, we have to embrace change. It's inevitable. It's going to happen no matter what, okay? And so when I look at other people, right, that say, never measure yourself with someone else's ruler, okay? Don't sit there and think, I've got to be like them. You got to be you. Be the best you can be of who you are. But it's a mindset. You know, we all know the story of the man who puts his two sons into a room, one with a bunch of toys, one with a pile of horse manure. The kid with all the toys says, these are cheap toys. I don't have batteries. This sucks. The other kid, he's in there, he's digging. What are you doing, son? With all this manure, there's got to be a pony under here somewhere, right? It's a mindset. Okay, we've got to go at change and embrace it. We have to look at this upcoming market, embrace it, as you said. Let's go out, get expired listings. Let's go build our inventory. Don't look at it like the world's coming to an end. It's just change. It's going to be there no matter what we do.
I love it. Okay, we have a couple minutes left, and so I want to do a quick fire round with you guys and gals. I want you to just give the one thing, the one takeaway you want everyone in this audience to walk away with. Ladies first.
So be great. Share your greatness with the world. You have something inside of you that is special. To keep it to yourself for whatever excuses, reasons, scared, fear, you don't think you have anything, it's really a transgression. I ask you to look at this for yourself to see if this is real for you. I see it as a transgression against myself when I hold myself back. And same for you. If you have greatness and can serve me by providing me with your products, your services, your gifts, and you withhold that so that I can't benefit from that, it's greedy. So don't be greedy. Go out and share yourself. Get known. Best beats best product any day. Get known. Get yourselves out there. And collaboration is the new currency. So go out and meet people. Expand your empire.
Collaboration is the new currency. Write that one down, everybody. Amazing. Tarek.
Well, I didn't mention I have ADD and I forgot the question.
Basically, it's all good. Just basically one quick takeaway you want the audience to walk away with today.
Oh, one quick takeaway.
One thing.
I hit it on my keynote earlier, but here's something I like to think about, right? We were given this 1 in a bajillion chance of being born, right? Mm-hmm. And on top of that, we only got one shot. We don't get a do-over, right? So every single day is the most important day of our life. Meaning, time is limited. You just gotta stop thinking so much and just start taking action and start moving. And I promise you, once you set goals, once you create routines, it becomes a part of who you are. The hardest step is the first step. But once you take that step, if you never stop, I promise you're gonna start living a life that you've always dreamed of.
Oh, so good. Glenn Stearns, the one thing.
Be authentic. Be yourself. People want to know who you are. They don't want to, don't try to be somebody you're not, okay? Mm-hmm. When we go out there, people want to know who you are. They want to know if you're awkward or if you're confident. They want to get to know you. And the more they know you, the better. This is not a transactional job you guys are doing. This is a relationship job, right?
Yes.
Know who you are and be comfortable in your own skin with all the warts and all that go with it.
So good. Be authentic, right?
All right.
And from the shark.
All right.
Give us the
so
one thing we need to do to go to the next level.
I talked about influencers, but nobody here is going to go get Flo Rida, probably. So who should you get, right? Let's talk about it. But you should be getting folks that you sold a house to, putting videos out, work with them, coach them. They should be talking about how great you are. Also, if you buy and you flip, you're doing magical transformation. You're buying something that looks like crap and you're fixing it up into a beautiful piece. Show that, present it. You've heard about creating content here from most of us on the panel. You got to create content and you got to reach for the stars.
Yes. Woo! I just want to thank every single one of you. How amazing you are. So I guess that's some of my biggest takeaways. You've got to be authentic. You know, in the absence of courage, do it scared, right? Like we're going into some different, right? Let's do that. And so I want to thank every single one of you for taking your time today, for pouring into every one of us. Yes.
I'll say one last thing,
please.
Lisa.
Yeah,
and don't forget to
2
follow us
seconds.
all on social media
Yes,
if you
please.
like what you heard, because we're putting out great stuff, all of us, and we'd love to help you. So
Right,
Great.
that's right.
Thank you. Good
Thank
job.
you. Woo! Thank you,
Thank you.
Lisa. Yes.